On this episode of the Bronze Metalist podcast, we talk about Violent Portraits of a Doomed Escape by Black Crown Initiate. Episode of the Bronze Metalist podcast. I'm Kale.
I'm OJ.
We're two professional broadcasters. We like metal and we like to talk about it. Mm-hmm. And today we are kind of continuing. We've been, at least I've been on a bit of a technical progressive death metal kick for a lot of albums so far this summer.
Yeah.
With that new Fallujah album and Rivers of Nile and all that. So speaking of Rivers of Nile, that they're good friends with the people in this band and actually share some band members.
They're all from Pennsylvania.
Yes,
yeah.
They're all from Pennsylvania. I think they're from the same hometown. It's I became aware of these guys. I'd heard of them before, but had never gotten around to listening to them. And then when we listened to the new Rivers of Nile album, Rivers of Nile, featuring the song Rivers of Nile.
It was recorded in the River of Nile.
Yeah. And I heard Andy Thomas singing on that, and I think Rivers' lead guitarist is their songwriter. But
gotcha.
Like I heard his singing on that and thought he sounded great, and I was like, oh, he's in this other band. Let's check that out. And I've been meaning to get around to talking about this album for a while.
Is it just one singer, or is it got to be two
There's
singers?
two singers.
Yeah.
Andy Thomas does the clean vocals, and their screamed vocals are done by James Dorton.
The guitar player, right?
Andy Thomas is the guitar player.
Okay, gotcha.
He plays guitars and does clean vocals. And then James Dorton is just vocalist.
I had to look and see. Wait a minute, is Brand Daler in this band?
That would be, as far as I know. I guess I don't know if Brand Daler has a side project or not. A lot of the other Mastodon guys do.
Right. They got side pieces.
I don't think they've announced their new guitarist yet. Their permanent replacement for Brent.
Yeah. Well, it's Uncle Ben for now, right?
I think he was only for the one tour that they were on. Yeah, or at least a stretch of that tour when he was available. I haven't heard anything else about Mastodon as far as like who's going to be replacing Brent. Because that's been months at this point, quite a while when they Brent left, and then they hired Ben Eller to be his immediate replacement because he has apparently, because I only knew him from a couple of funny YouTube videos that I watched.
He's a great guitar player.
He's a great guitar player, and also is very renowned as like, if you need a guy to fill in on your tour who can learn a bunch of hard songs really fast, he's one of the best guys in the business.
Yeah.
Like, he's just apparently got it locked down as far as being able to learn difficult guitar songs.
He can play that goo-eider.
He plays that goo-eider quite well.
Yeah.
The electric lute. Someone should. I'm sure someone has made a genuine electric lute.
Oh, I think I've seen one. I actually got my friend an electric kazoo for his birthday.
Kazoo.
Yeah.
I mean, really, an electric lute would just be a 10-string guitar. I think lutes have 10 strings.
Something like that.
It would really just, it wouldn't be all that much different than just a normal 10-string guitar, because part of what makes a lute is sort of the shape of the body, and also the fact that you can move the frets, which would be hard to do with metal strings, which are also important to have for an electric instrument.
Yeah, kinda. I mean, you can stick a pickup on anything.
Will pickups work with like nylon strings?
You can yell into a pickup,
I suppose. Yeah. I guess I've never. I don't know if I've ever seen a classical guitar with like pickups or anything like that. You know, there are like, what are they called? Not semi-electric, but like it's an acoustic guitar, but it has a pickup inside of it.
Yeah. Acoustic electric.
Acoustic electric. Yeah. rather than semi-hollow or whatever, which is more of an electric guitar with a little bit of an acoustic guitar attached to it.
Yeah, like a dobro or something like that.
Yeah, but yeah, like because the thing about a lute is the frets are made of gut, I think. At least traditionally they were, and you can move them around, and that way you have like true tone or whatever, or you can, depending upon how you've got them set. Instead of, this is like one of the few things I know about like music theory is that
as lutes
is that well no, that like guitars are in what's the term like equal temperament.
Oh, sure. Okay.
True temperament is the term I was thinking of.
They have fixed frets.
And, where the notes are not quite actually exact because you cannot do that while having the frets be, an equal a distance apart and have it just like sort of make sense to a human that wants it to, be easy to make and also to play and whatnot.
Right.
Like I've seen people have custom made true temperament guitars with metal frets, and they look fucking insane. The shape of the frets is so weird
because they're not equidistant.
Yeah, they're like they're like squiggly too because the position has to change for each string too.
Right.
And they're really weird. And because of the prevalence of guitar and pop music, everybody's just used to what is in truth something that actually is not quite right. We're all just perfectly used to it, and it sounds great.
Yeah, nobody notice.
Yeah, nobody except the nerdiest music nerd ever would actually notice it.
Right.
But yeah, if you've got perfect pitch or something like that, which some people do.
Yeah.
Apparently Charlie Day does. That's just a genuine, like, that's a thing about him in real life, I think, and his character in It's Always Sunny. I think they both have perfect pitch.
Really?
I know at least Charlie in It's Always Sunny does have perfect pitch, and that's one of the funny things about his character. They just find out in one. Just like, wouldn't it be funny if the weirdest guy in this crew was really good at music?
And he makes one hell of a mean sandwich.
Yeah. I don't think I've seen that episode. I know the milk steak episode. Or Charlie's rat stick that he uses to kill rats.
The show is so hard to watch.
It really is. It's hard to watch. It's hard to watch more than a couple episodes of it at a time.
Yeah, you can't binge it.
I have an easier time with It's Always Sunny than like I tried to watch Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Yeah.
I could not handle Curb Your Enthusiasm at all because it felt too authentically awkward. It felt too real in a way that the constant heightened state of absolute terribleness that the It's Always Sunny gang has, like it's heightened enough to where you're like, okay, I've met some pretty terrible people, but there's if there are any real people who are genuinely like these characters, there's not many of them. Whereas like everyone's been in something kind of adjacent to whatever the weird shit that's happening in an episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm is. And I could not make it through the first episode and immediately went, nope, this is too much secondhand cringe. I cannot do this.
But we were talking about Always Sunny. I actually saw a video interview with Danny DeVito today where he was talking about how when he got cast in his first big break, which was Taxi, really, 1978, he completely 100% rolled the dice on the audition.
Okay.
He walked in, and Danny's really he's actually a nice guy.
Yeah, he's an amazing guy.
Yeah. But he decided he was gonna be Louis De Palma when he walked in.
Yeah.
And so he walked through the door and he looked at the big wigs all sitting behind the desk in this really nice office, and he said, "Before we do this, who wrote this shit?"
And it worked?
And it worked. It was either they were going to kick him out or they were going to bust a gut laughing. They laughed. They all laughed. In fact, everything he said for the rest was hilarious. At one point, he went, "Huh?" And they went, "Ha!" Yeah.
Perfect.
I
mean, I'm glad it went well because we got Danny DeVito out.
Yeah, right.
If it hadn't gone well, who knows how his career would have went.
He might have opened like a taco stand or something. Who knows?
Yeah, I don't know. Danny DeVito's taco stand. Speaking of people who are 4'11",
yeah.
Have you seen the most recent episode of Game Changer? It's really new.
I haven't seen it yet.
The outvoted episode. It's the season finale.
I haven't watched it yet.
It made me fucking howl.
Mm-hmm.
And I when it shows up, if you watch it, you'll understand the 4'11" reference, I'm sure.
Okay.
Yeah, that I watched it last night, the season finale of Game Changer on Dropout.
Is it because the guy who owns the network is roughly 4'11"?
No, Sam is 5'6".
Oh, he's 5'6".
He might be a little shorter than that. I don't know. He's quite short. He's a small man.
I think he's actually taller than his father.
He is,
yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
No. And it's funny because there's a lot of Dropout actors who are also quite tall.
Yeah.
Anytime Sam is standing next to Grant O'Brien,
Is he still work there?
Yeah. Well, Grant is one of the co-hosts of
he's making cocktails.
Dirty Laundry, yeah.
Yeah.
And like the cast doesn't work there. The only member of like the Dropout cast that is an employee of Dropout is Brennan.
Okay.
Everyone else is like a contractor, basically.
Gotcha.
Everybody else. Part of that is just because they're all actors and comedians, and that way they can go and do other stuff. Technically, Dropout is not a union organization, partially because they're like a new media thing, and there's not really quite a place for that. But as I understand it, Dropout far exceeds the union's like requirements, basically.
Of course they do.
Just of their own volition, because of course they do. I think one of they as far as actors, I don't think they qualify for the union, but they did for writers, I think. And so during the writers' strike, they were allowed to keep working, I think, because they had just of their own accord already exceeded the union's demands, and so they were not considered a struck company because like you guys were already doing fine, don't worry about it.
Right.
But I still think they took a fair amount of breaks so employees and whatnot could go and strike and whatnot. But yeah, the anytime Sam is on camera with Grant O'Brien, there's just such a height disparity. It's because he's 6'8", I think,
something like that. Yeah,
he's very tall. But yeah, the only employee that's regularly on camera other than Sam, because he's the CEO,
is Brennan. Right?
Is Brennan.
Who's the guy who also very tall, really good at improving Shakespeare. He's also in a commercial that's very prevalent right now.
Oh no, I can't. Ross Bryant.
Yes,
Ross Bryant.
Yes.
Yes, also quite tall. Yeah, I highly recommend watching the latest episode of Game Changer.
All right.
Outvoted. If you have access to Dropout, go and watch it now. It's fucking hilarious. It's really, really, really good.
Okay. I will treat my house guest. I have a house guest.
Yes, you do.
So yeah, I will treat them to that.
Treat them to some Game Changer.
They're leaving tomorrow. So
tomorrow.
They're
leaving tomorrow, going back to South Dakota.
Yeah.
Good old South Dakota. I don't know what accent that is. South Dakota.
South Dakota.
Going out to South Dakota. It's not a South Dakota accent.
It is not, or a North Dakota accent.
Or a North Dakota accent. I mean, North Dakota is a little bit.
It's a little bit. It's almost.
It's close. It's getting there.
Yeah, anything with a long O, you have to slip a slight L in there.
Yeah.
Dakota.
The North Dakota accent is one of those things that anytime I think about it, it slips away. I don't know what it actually is, at least for me.
Right.
Like, because you hear it all your life, and then when you actually have to try and identify its traits, it's impossible to do that objectively. Because also, it's an accent that people make fun of a lot, and so I get kind of defensive about it a little bit. I do think it's true that most people in this day and age don't have nearly as strong of an accent as people expect you to when they find out you're from North Dakota.
Right, because of global media. I mean,
yeah, there are some people, some of whom we work with,
Yes.
that do have a very strong.
Oh yeah.
Like a very strong, very traditional, like North Dakota, Nodak accent. But
that's because she's 10 years older than me.
That's true. But yeah, definitely it's, it is a thing. It's just not nearly as much of a thing. It also depends on what part of the state you're from. I think you get west of the Missouri, and it just sort of it becomes indiscernible from how people sound in Montana and whatnot.
But you get closer to Minnesota.
Yeah, the closer you get to Minnesota, the stronger the more Yooper it sounds, even though Yooper is upper Michigan.
All for dumb.
I really someday I want to go to the Upper Peninsula of Michigan.
I would love to do that.
It looks really pretty.
It does. And it seems like I would like the people there.
Yeah. I mean, my main exposure to the Upper Peninsula of Michigan is the Adult Swim show Joe Pera Talks with You, which is just a lovely, warm blanket of a show. I'm sure I've talked about it before.
I've watched it, yeah.
Yeah, it's a lovely show. Short, 15-minute episodes or something like that. Some of them are a little bit longer, but it aired on Adult Swim, so they could kind of just do whatever they wanted with the runtime. But it's about a music teacher in Marquette, Michigan, and he's just a slow move. He's a 75-year-old man trapped in the body of a 35-year-old man, and it's just
really it is actually two men.
But Joe Pera Talks with You is another show I can highly recommend if you've got somewhere to watch it. It was unfortunately canceled a few years back, but
it's still there on.
It's
HBO,
still there to
right?
watch for sure. But it's just a wonderful, lovely show that a couple summers ago, I don't know, I just needed something that felt like genuine and funny but warm. Like, it's so rare, especially kind of like on Adult Swim, which has so many shows that are kind of like, the modern sort of cynical comedy thing.
Right.
And that show could not be less cynical. It's just lovely.
It does get dark on occasion.
It gets dark on occasion, but in a way that, again, feels genuine. It's not being dark to be edgy. It's just like, oh, this is the thing that happens to people, and it's sad, but here's how Joe deals with it, and it still manages to be kind of heartwarming. But yeah, it's a wonderful show, and now I want to watch it. It's been a little bit since I've watched. Every once in a while, I'll pull it because I bought all the seasons on YouTube because that was the easiest way to just get access to it, and it was pretty cheap.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's lovely. Joe Pera had a podcast for a bit that I think's been on a pretty long hiatus. He did it's like Joe Pera Talks You to Sleep or something like that, where he did a series of podcasts that were designed to help you fall asleep, and they were all pretty funny in his typical way. He has a comedy special that I also like quite a lot, called Slow and Steady, because that's how he talks.
Yes.
It's not. Hi, my name's Joe Pera. He sounds like an old man.
Yeah.
And it's not entirely clear if that's how he talks or if
I think it's an act.
It like, I've heard some people say that like he definitely plays it up, but he is at least a little bit like that in real life.
He's being an exaggeration of himself.
Yeah, he's exaggerating his own tendencies, but he is. I have heard some people say that he's not quite. He doesn't talk that slow, but he does have a bit more of a measured pace. But yeah, I don't know. I could talk about Joe Pera Talks with You forever.
I mean, it's good that he has a gig, after Aerosmith. I mean, that's really great.
No. That's Joe Perry.
Who? Joe Perry? See,
who's from Aerosmith?
Joe Perry. Yeah,
Joe Perry. You're right. Okay.
There's also a Joe Penny, who is an actor who was in a show called Riptide.
Okay, and there's Steve Perry.
There's Steve Perry, who was in Journey.
Yeah.
And there's Linda Perry, who was in Four Non-Blondes.
And there's Perry Cox from Scrubs.
Mm-hmm. There's Perry Como, who's a crooner from the...
And there's Matthew Perry, who's dead.
Matthew Perry's still in the hot tub.
Oh, no. No. Why did they take him out? Yeah. I'm trying to think if I've done anything of note recently. I don't think... Oh, I've started playing a little game with my friends called Peak. It's a fun little game. I don't know what it's available on outside of PC, but it's like $8 on Steam, so that's why I bought it. And fun. It's just you play as a group of little Boy Scouts that have crash landed on an island, a mountainous island, and you, in order to get rescued, you have to climb all the way up to the top of the mountain, and it's hard. It's really difficult to do that, but they have a whole little climbing system, and it's a lot of fun. It's very funny as well. And at
what point do you kill Piggy with the rock?
You could do that almost immediately.
Really?
They don't give you much stuff to actually hurt your teammates directly. The only way that you could really hurt your teammates is by throwing something at them that knocks them off of the side of something while they're climbing.
Jeez.
And then they could die. And once you get past a certain level on your hunger bar, you can eat each other. So it's all very cartoony,
sure,
but like the way that like the mechanics work is you have one bar, and that's where all of your stuff is, and the more stuff you're carrying, that fills up a segment for weight, and then the hungrier you get, that fills up more, and there are all kinds of other statuses, and each one of those status effects stacks and reduces your stamina. So like the more other things pop up in your bar, the more they push your stamina down. And there are, you climb to the top of one peak, and then you light a campfire, and it unlocks a new biome that's above you, and you climb up to the top of that one.
Nice.
The other night we got to the last one, which is volcanoes, and then we died. It was going really well, the best it's ever gone. And because we didn't really know what the mechanics were, instead of climbing up in the volcanoes, you mostly go straight out. And there's lava down on the floor, and you have to like climb between these different pillars coming up out of the lava. But some of those pillars, every once in a while, have fire that erupts all around them. And we didn't really know that, and so we were standing on one trying to get to another one, and then we all died because we got absolutely burned to a crisp.
Wow.
But yeah, it's a fun little game. A lot of streamers have been playing it lately, which is how I became aware of it. But it's a lot of fun. It's enjoyable. I like it.
I have a hard time, and I wish I didn't, but I do have a hard time getting into games that I'm playing with other people.
Yeah. No, that's fair. You can play it alone.
Yeah.
But it's very much meant to be like a co-op sort of game. I don't think there's any like real any real drawback to playing it alone, other than you don't have more people around you to like carry other useful items that you might need, because there's luggage scattered all over the island, and when you open up the luggage, it might have like all kinds of useful gear. Like for some reason, someone on the plane had a rope cannon, which is like a like a grappling gun and stuff. Like there's all kinds of stuff that you can find, and food and other items. There's poisonous fruit that you can eat. There's many different kinds of mushrooms. Some of the mushrooms are good. Some of the mushrooms are bad. So on and so forth. It's fun. It's called Peak. All right, let us talk about this week's album, Violent Portraits of a Doomed Escape by Black Crown Initiate. So Black Crown Initiate is an American technical/progressive death metal band. They come from Pennsylvania. They're from Reading, Pennsylvania, which, as you said, is also, I believe, the hometown of Rivers of Nile.
And a railroad.
Maybe, I don't know if it's, Reading Railroad?
I mean, no, Monopoly, there's the Reading Railroad.
Oh, okay.
But there's also a TV show.
That's the Reading Rainbow.
Right, with LeVar Burton.
Yeah. LeVar Burton's Reading Railroad. You're only allowed to read this.
Right.
And you have to read it this way.
And I'm going to ruin your life if you don't.
Yeah. But yeah, Black Crown Initiate, technical / progressive death metal band. They got started in 2012. Just as like a studio project. So they made an EP called Song of the Crippled Bull, which is still remains like one of their most popular releases. And it got them a lot of attention really quickly, which kind of shocked the members of the band. Like they went to like a fairly well-known, producer and whatnot. And that had made, albums for like August Burns Red and whatnot. And so like they put some effort forth into this thing, but they were kind of shocked at the amount of traction that it got, and so then they had to be like, well, we can like actually make this a thing, so we're gonna need some more band members in order to go touring. And their first tour, in 2014 after the EP came out, they went on tour without a full-length album, without having released a full-length album. They went on tour with Goat Whore and Behemoth.
Yeah, I saw
their
that.
first tour.
With
which
no
is,
full-length album.
Yeah, without I think they had like probably some extra material written. But yeah, as like a death metal band, your first tour, you're out with Goat Whore and Behemoth. That's pretty good.
That's an accomplishment.
That's an achievement, I think. But yeah, since then they've put out a few other albums. I think they've 2 albums. The first EP, first album, The Wreckage of Stars. Second album, Selves We Cannot Forgive. And in that time, they've had some difficulties, mostly due with like what Andy Thomas has referred to as a revolving door of musicians.
Sure.
The founding members of the band, which were Nick Shaw, Andy Thomas, and James Dorton, for the most part stuck around, and so the second guitarist and drummer rotated a number of different times.
Sure.
More recently, actually since this album came out, both Andy Thomas and Nick Shaw
died.
They momentarily they briefly left the band.
Oh, really?
Andy Thomas went and joined Rivers of Nihil. Since then, both of them have come back to the band. James Dorton has also been involved in a number of other projects. He's the vocalist for The Faceless, which I feel like I've seen that so many times. It seems like half the metal community has been the vocalist for the Faceless at this point.
Yeah,
I feel like I've heard some stuff that someone in that band is kind of hard to work with. I don't know, but
right.
Yeah, they
picture him right now.
Hey, but maybe that's pulled entirely out of my ass, and there's no basis to that. But
the assless.
Yeah, James Dorton has also joined some other bands and whatnot. Like there's like Andy Thomas said, a revolving door, and that's part of what led him to leave the band for a bit and end up joining Rivers of Nihil. I think he was just kind of tired of managing it, but I guess things got fixed up and people had second thoughts. Nick Shaw left the band to focus on his family for a bit, and then,
like you do,
I guess came back because he didn't want to be a dad anymore. No, that's not true.
Yeah,
but yeah, the 3 of them in that lineup has stayed pretty steady. The other members of the band at the time that this album was released were Ethan McKenna, who was one of the first people that they had contacted to play guitar with them back when they first became a band, but he presumably was busy with something else. So he entered the band sometime before this album came out. I don't remember the exact history. And then Gabe Sieber plays drums on this. I could just look at it over here on my computer, but why would I do that? Yeah, Gabe Sieber, and I guess he has left the band as well. It seems like they don't currently have a drummer. But I don't know, unless this chart has not been updated. It's
Wikipedia.
Yeah, it looks like they do not currently have a drummer. But I don't know. I guess people, that's one of the things, like, drummers are always in demand, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's easy to find a drummer. But
just look at Spinal Tap.
It's hard when they explode.
That's true.
What are they gonna? I wonder what the jokes are going to be around the drummers for their upcoming.
I mean,
stuff.
They talked to oh my God, from the Nappy from the Roots. But God, why am I forgetting his name?
I don't know.
A famous person. Anyway, they talked to him, asked him if he wanted. He's like, I don't want to die.
Yeah. Why would anyone want to be the drummer for Spinal Tap? That's a curse.
Right.
But yeah, I keep forgetting that they're making more stuff.
Yeah.
Here soon, a sequel.
Yeah, a new movie coming out.
A new movie.
The End continues.
I mean, I feel like there's so many more jokes they can make. I mean, the title of the movie, I think, is an obvious reference to the fact that so many of the bands that were their contemporaries in the 70s when they made that movie.
The 80s.
They're the 80s. Was that? I guess I don't remember when the Spinal Tap came out.
When it came out.
Okay, I thought it was earlier than that, but anyway, they were spoofing bands that had been around in the 70s.
Right.
And those bands are still around and refuse. They keep on saying this is our farewell tour.
Right.
And then it isn't.
I mean, you know how that movie came about, right? You know how the whole thing?
I don't exactly know how this Spinal Tap came about.
Well, this is according to Christopher Guest. In 1974, he was in the lobby of a hotel waiting for someone to come pick him up.
Oh, yeah.
And an English rock band came walking in. And it was like a whole 5 full-minute conversation about, where's your bass? Hi. Well, I don't know. I had it at the airport. Okay, but where is it now? Well, I don't know. He said until the moment he met the woman he would marry, Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yeah.
It was the best 5 minutes of his entire life.
Has he said what band it was?
No,
Does he know what band it was?
I don't think so. I don't
It'd be
think he even
hilarious
knows.
if it was like Pink Floyd.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, back to Black Crown Initiate.
Yeah.
So this album came out in 2020.
Yes.
It was recorded in 2019 and came out in 2020, which is always an unfortunate story.
Yeah. Yes, it is.
Came out August of 2020, which means like, oh boy, what can we do now? What are we gonna do? In 2021, they had a tour that they were going to do. That ended up having to be canceled for obvious reasons.
Right.
But yeah, it's a story that has repeated many times across the music industry.
Mm-hmm.
Of, well, we made this thing and we have to release it at some point here.
Mm-hmm.
What are we gonna do after it releases? Because we can't really do much. But
yeah, the money making part is sort of out of the picture.
Part. I don't know if they're working on any new material at this time. I mean, they don't currently have a drummer. Mm-hmm. They did say back when Andy Thomas and Nick Shaw came back into the band, mm-hmm. Which was last summer, they did say that they will hopefully be releasing new music when time permits, but mm-hmm. I haven't seen anything else since then.
Right.
Certainly, the comments on the songs from some of the songs from this album mm-hmm. on YouTube is people going, "New music, please. New music when, please,
please."
And I agree. Mm-hmm. This album gave me a definite appetite for more of their material, and I'm going to have to go back and listen to their earlier stuff.
I was in my car listening to this at full volume, and I actually got the chills. There were places where I got the chills.
I would describe this as a combination of, like, to me, the if I were to divide the DNA of this band into other bands, mm-hmm. I think the primary ancestor mm-hmm. is Opeth. There's a lot of Opeth I hear in this.
Yeah.
And then I don't know who else to really add into there. Like some, they're not nearly as genty as like a Meshuggah, but
right.
It's hard to make a modern like progressive death metal album mm-hmm. and not have a little bit of that DNA in there.
Yeah.
But like there's to me it's there's so much stuff that's like, oh, this is scratching like the older Opeth itch. Mm-hmm. It's not quite as like I guess kind of sort of gothic feeling that Opeth has at times, where they're not a gothic band,
no,
but they have that
they have that vibe of it.
Yeah, they have that aesthetic to them, especially when you like their logo really evokes that aesthetic as well, with mm-hmm. the like sort of fractal flowering bits and whatnot. It feels very Victorian sort of spooky gothic sort of thing.
Like there's going to be a what's the instrument? Key instrument?
An organ.
No.
And dulcimer.
No. I'm
piano.
I can't brain like from that era that has that sort of thin sound to it.
I don't know.
Forget I'm here.
I don't know enough about instruments other than lutes, apparently.
Yeah, you know all about lutes.
I know all about lutes. That's because I've watched a couple Brandon Acker videos. And that's one of the things that he plays regularly, along with the theorbo, which is the lute, but big.
Yeah, the big lute. Yeah.
The big lute. It's very, very big. It's so big that the neck has a hinge in it.
Right.
So it can be traveled with. But
harpsichord.
Okay. All right.
Thank you.
I got you.
I didn't even look at my phone. I just remembered.
You just remembered it.
Yeah.
Good job. I'm proud of you. Does this album slap?
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah,
it does. This album, the 5 reviews on the Wikipedia page, so I didn't have to go looking anywhere else. It came out to 87%, which is pretty good. Pretty good. What's your favorite song?
Well, I don't know if you noticed or not, but there's a song on here called "Son of War."
Yeah, I have heard. Okay, there's which one?
I wonder if they regret.
No, they did that on purpose.
Yeah, I know they did it on purpose. They're like, this would be clever.
Yeah.
And then like, what song are we playing next? "Son of War." God damn it.
Which one? Fuck. Have they really begun to enunciate son or son? Son?
Son.
Son.
Son. I actually do
like... Because it's S-O-N and S-U-N.
Right. I think I do really enjoy the S-O-N.
S-O-N, okay.
Yeah.
I also like that one quite a lot. I put Trauma Bonds down.
Trauma Bonds was almost a tie.
Trauma Bonds is just, it's so different.
It's and there's the harmonies, the vocal harmonies are fucking nuts.
It's like Andy Thomas is such a good singer.
Yeah.
There's also a little interlude in here that's just throat singing.
Bellow.
Bellow, yeah. It's just like it's almost like James Dorton was like just practicing throat singing,
right? Where
there's not really a lot of structure to it. It sounds really cool and really good, but it's just kind of like all right.
Okay, we'll make that.
But it gets continuously more intense too. There's more and more. It gets more and more aggressive and gravelly as it goes along,
right? To
where by the end he's basically doing a death growl, which the two vocal techniques are not entirely dissimilar, at least when it comes to the ways in which they can be performed,
right? And what part of your throat you're using.
Yeah, they're not entirely dissimilar, but that was kind of neat. That bit there.
I would like to hear some Tuvan death metal.
I'm sure it exists.
Yeah.
I mean, the Who exists. They are a Mongolian metal band. I don't know. I haven't really listened to them to say like what genre they fit into. As far as
I recommend, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
At some point, I've been aware of them for the longest time, but I have not listened. Are they from Mongolia?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. Roger Daltrey's from Outer Mongolia.
Ha 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 ha.
Pete Townsend's from just north of the Great Wall there.
Okay. Yeah. No. I didn't know if it was the case. Maybe they were like Mongolian American or something like that.
No.
I don't know. I haven't really looked into them.
They're actual Mongolian.
All right. Cool.
What were we talking about?
I looked over and saw King Parrot.
Okay.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, we return to your regularly scheduled podcast. Some piece of some piece of audio hardware in my setup here is failing.
Yeah.
And I'm not entirely sure what it is, but I'm pretty sure it's just my board, which would make sense because it's been plugged in and running continuously for probably close to a decade.
Yeah.
And it wasn't designed for that. Nor, it was like $200, and it's made by Behringer. And if you know anything about Behringer, you know that they're not exactly the best, most reputable audio hardware company in the world. at least not anymore.
To be honest, you said that and I said, No, I don't know. I've never heard of Behringer. I've heard of Tom Behringer.
The Behringer is probably more well known for like their keyboards and stuff and their various synth plugins, almost all of which are direct copies or clones of other better pieces of kit.
Gotcha.
They've I've watched a couple different videos about why they suck, and also their CEO seems to be an absolute asshole. I didn't know that at the time I bought this, but yeah, I hopefully it will last through the rest of the episode. We had mostly gotten to the part where we talk about.
Did you mention? Did you actually get it on? They're going on tour.
I didn't see that. No, I don't remember what exactly we were talking about before it cut, but. When I turned over to and saw on their tour list, there's a list of like the tours they've been on and the people they toured with. And they were on a tour in 2014 with Unearth, Darkest Hour, Carnifex, Origin, and King Parrot, which was surprising to me because before you told me about them, I had never heard of King Parrot before. And I assumed they were mostly like an Australian thing. But here they are back in 2014. I think I guess I did read when we were talking about them that they're a bit more of a thing in the grindcore community in general.
Right.
Right, they're kind of a grindcore, but that was King Parrot.
Yeah, they're considered grind, even though they have a lot of elements of like some thrashy stuff, some death metal-y stuff.
I mean, that's just grindcore, though.
Yeah, sure.
That's part of why it's called grindcore, is because it's like you put a bunch of these genres in a blender and ground them up, and also because that's sort of the sound the guitars make.
Grinding sound.
Yeah, but I think we had gotten to favorite songs. I think that
we did that. Yeah.
So, what metal do you bestow upon Violent Portraits of a Doomed Escape like Maz Kanata to Chewbacca?
I'm gonna give this a gold. I think.
I think for me it might be a very high silver.
Yeah.
I'm not.
I have to listen to it again, but that's the thing. Is I'm like, I want to listen. I'm looking forward to listening to this again on the way home.
Yeah, I think it's one of those ones that's probably going to turn into a gold. It definitely has given me a taste to listen to more of their music, and also makes me anticipate whatever they might be working on in the future. I would love to hear and see some more from them. I've become a bit of a fan of Andy Thomas. I think he's a really good singer and a good guitar player. I loved his additions that he made when he came on to Rivers of Nile, and I want to hear more of his stuff. He's also the lyricist for this band,
right?
Next week, what do you want to talk about?
Well, since my house guest and I are going to be having Brazilian chicken this evening, I thought, you know what, I should bring a third album by the famous Brazilian band Sepultura.
All right.
I'm going to bring the album you thought I might be bringing the first time. The album where they started to get kind of weird for a bit.
Is that Roots?
That'd be Roots.
Okay. That was like the only album of theirs I knew about was Roots.
I mean, it's a great album, but there are aspects of it where, hey, let's try this thing.
All right. Roots by Sepultura next week. Until then, why don't you go ahead and follow us on whatever podcast service you use to listen. Thank you very much for listening to this episode of the Bronze Medalist Podcast. I'm Kale.
I'm OJ.
Congratulations!